Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video, I am going to let you know the best builds, which includes the best arcs, cartridge sets and stats and team synergies for every character in NTE. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Starting with the MC 0. They fulfill the role of sub DPS. For the arcs, Day Off is the best option and is also free. There are other close alternatives which you can see on the screen, and if you want a sustained weapon that can heal, you can use Your Happiness is Priceless, but it hurts its damage. For their cartridge sets, Speedy Hedgehog is the best option for buffing the team, but if there are other hedgehog holders like Sakiri or Haniel, use the Lost Radiance set. Fireflies and the Forest is an alternative if there are Anima DPS in the team, and Shadowcrete is the universal option. And these are the main stat and substats you should be looking for. But if you use the rain that shook the world, you can build cycle intensity on him to benefit more from the weapon. Here is his awakening priority. For his team options, you can slot him into any Blossom, Remora or Charge teams, as he can instantly fill the Esper cycle meter, giving access to reactions. Next is our very first limited DPS, Nanally. For her weapon, her signature Ready is obviously the best, but there are other many close alternatives, with Raging Flames being the best F2P option. For her cartridges, best set for her is the Fireflies and the Forest, with Shadowcrete being an alternative. For main stat and substats, look for these. Here is her awakening priority. And for her teams, she can be used in Blossom, Hex or Charge teams. Zero is the best support for Blossom teams as well as Charge teams. Jiuyuan is a strong sub DPS that can be used with her. Sakiri and Adler are great Hex supports. Haniel is great as a general support, and there are many other options. Next, we have the best standard banner DPS, Baicang. For his arcs, you should only be using his best option, Camellia Society, his signature arc which you can get for free. The Time Will Come is a strong alternative to it. For his cartridge set, Crimson Twin Butterflies is the best option, with Shadowcrete being an alternative. For main stat and substats, look for these stats. That is his awakening priority. For his teams, he synergizes with Chaos and Anima characters to trigger Scorch or Hex reactions. Daffodil is the only Chaos character we have, and she works well as a quick sub DPS. Jiuyuan is great for gathering enemies and triggering Hex reaction. Nanally and Mint can form dual DPS team with him. Sakiri is an amazing support with her powerful buffs and can buff Scorch reaction, giving dot damage increase. Haniel is an amazing flex unit thanks to her buffs. And Adler is another great option, especially for Scorch teams, as he can buff it and also gives shields and 10% incantation buff with all awakenings unlocked. Moving on to Daffodil, who is a quickswap hybrid sub DPS and the only Chaos character. For her arcs, the signature which you can get for free, Youthful Fantasy, is the best option, followed by Fluff of Fleetness, Shiny Days and Mind Royal. For her cartridge set, Diabolos is the best set, and for stats, you should look for these. After you unlock both her A5 and A3, the value of break intensity increases further, so building it becomes better. Here is her awakening priority. Daffodil is the only Chaos character, and due to her role of quickswap hybrid DPS, she can easily fit into any team with Psych characters to trigger Nova reaction or Incantation characters to trigger Scorch reaction. Haniel, who is one of the most flexible supports in this game, is Psych, so technically you can slot Daffodil in almost any team alongside her. Moving on to Hathor, who can be played as both main DPS or sub DPS. Her best arc is Raging Flames, which you can get for free, followed by Fluff of Fortitude and Song of the Veil. For her cartridges, her best set is Street Boxer, giving her Lakshana damage and up to 28% crit rate, which you can have 100% uptime by using someone like the MC for fast Esper reactions. These are the stats you should look for her, and these are her ideal stats. Here is her awakening priority. For her teams, she works well with Psych or Cosmos characters to trigger Remora or Stain. The MC is one of her best sub DPS, as they can instantly fill their cycle to maintain her buff uptime. You can slot in an anima character like Jiuyuan, Nanally, or Mint for creating charged teams with a Cosmos character like Zero. Moving on to Jiuyuan, the best anima sub DPS. For her arcs, as you might have guessed, her signature Reality Refuge is the best which you can get for free. Followed by Fluff of Fearlessness, Hathor's Keeper, and Day Off perks for more ultimate. For our cartridge sets, Fireflies and the Forest is the best option, buffing crit and anima damage. And for the stats, you should look for these, and these are our ideal endgame stats. Here is our Awakening priority. For her teams, she can be paired with any Cosmos Esper to trigger Blossom, or Incantation Esper to trigger Hex, or with both Lakshana and Cosmos Esper to trigger Charge. She is quite flexible as sub DPS for teams which require an anima element. Moving on to Sakiri, one of the best supports in this game. For her arcs, there is only one good option you should be using, and that is Good Boy's Grand Adventure, Sakiri's signature, which you can get for free. It allows for faster ultimate and more attack buffs for the team. For our cartridge set, Speedy Hedgehog is our best in slot, and in most of the team, Sakiri will be the one using it. If there is a better Hedgehog holder, we can use Crimson Twin Butterflies on her, and for the stats, you should look for these, and these are our ideal endgame stats. Here is our Awakening priority. For her teams, as a support, she can fit into any team buffing them, but she is the best when paired with Chaos or Anima characters to trigger Scorch or Hex reactions. Baicang is a DPS that can take full advantage of Sakiri's kit due to her dot damage buff. Moving on to Fadia, who can deal great amounts of damage while bringing defensive utilities to the team. As always, for her arcs, the signature Eternal Waltz is the best option, which is available for free as it gives her HP and mental damage. The Great Thief is a great alternative for break damage. For cartridges, the best set is Tiny Big Adventure, which gives up to 50% HP to Fadia, boosting her damage and support. Quiet Manor is an alternative for boosting her mental damage. And for her stats, look for these, and these are her ideal endgame stats. Here is her Awakening priority. For her teams, she is the best paired with a Chaos character who is currently only Daffodil, enabling her Nova enhancement, and Lakshana characters to trigger Stain reactions. She also has special interaction with Baicang, where Baicang with his passive 2 can heal her if her HP drops below 20%, giving a stack of power word silence to him. And you can create a Discord team with Baicang. Moving on to our last 5-star, Chiz. For her arcs, Contemplative Cat, her signature, is the best option. Just make sure to have 1 million fawns to activate the passive. For her cartridges, Lost Radiance is the best one. For her stats, look for these, and these are her ideal endgame stats. Here is her Awakening priority. For her teams, she synergizes well with Anima and Lakshana characters to trigger Blossom, Remora, and charge reactions. The MC Zero is a great sub DPS as they can give instant cycle. She can be used as a sub DPS alongside other Anima DPS like Mint or Nanally. Here is a very useful info if you want to spend on this game. There is a site that has saved me a lot of money when I spend on gacha games, and you can also enjoy amazing discounts when spending on NTE. And that site is Lootbar, the most affordable and safest trading platform on the market. As you can see, it provides 15% discount and 10% extra discount for new users, adding up to 25%. And this doesn't stop here. Returning users get additional coupons whenever there are new banners. As you can see here, the same pack costs me $200, but with Lootbar, it costs me only $168, and it can get even cheaper if I am a new user. Lootbar provides a lot of discounts for many different games other than NTE like WoWa, Genshin, and Field. The procedure is also very simple. Choose your pack and pay. Log into your account using the device to redeem it just like an official purchase, and all your data is automatically wiped out the moment you log out. Lootbar has a high score of 4.9 on Trustpilot and has received tens of thousands of reviews, which is enough to show that the service is safe and effective. By the way, if you are looking to grab some hot Steam titles like Arc Raiders, definitely check out Lootbar. You can get up to 80% off plus an extra 20% cashback with an instant delivery and easy self-service activation. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in description and you will also get a 10% discount coupon for new users. Moving on to 4-star characters, starting with the best one, Haniel. Haniel is one of the best support in this game. For her arcs, her signature blow up the crowd is the best option as it can provide attack buffs to the team. Day Off, Hathor's Keeper, Forgotten and Time Bandit are other alternatives. For her cartridge sets, Speedy Hedgehog is the best for faster ult and attack buff, and she will mostly be the one using it. But if there is a better holder in the team, Fireflies and Forest in Anima teams or Devil's Blood Curse are some other offensive alternatives. For her stats, look for these, and these are her ideal endgame stats. Here is her Awakening priority. For her teams, I don't really need to say much cause she can fit into any team providing massive attack buffs even if she cannot trigger any Esper cycles. But she works best with Lakshana or Chaos characters as she can trigger Esper cycles with them. Moving on to our only psych DPS, Aurelia. For her arcs, Nanally's signature is the best arc for her, but her own signature, Stellar Veil, which you can get for free, is very close to it. Fluff of Fortitude and Song of the Veil are other alternatives. For her cartridges, Devil's Blood Curse is the best in slot, Lost Radiance and Shadow Creed are other alternatives. For her stats, look for these, and these are her ideal endgame stats. Here is her Awakening priority. For her teams, Daffodil is one of the best support for her as she is the only character who can trigger Nova. Haniel and Fadia are great supports while providing extra cycles to trigger Nova reactions. Lakshana characters can help to trigger Stain reactions. Sakiri, even though she cannot provide any Esper cycle, can provide strong buffs and crowd control. You can create a charged team with 3 other characters from Lakshana, Cosmos and Anima elements. Moving on to our next character, Adler. There are 2 best arc options for him. One is Umbrella, strengthening his sustain, and the other one is a Great Thief, providing break intensity when there are 3 incantation characters in the team. If your team contains 3 such characters, then the Great Thief is better. For his cartridge sets, if there is no Speedy Hedgehog holder in the team, Adler can use it, but if there is one like Haniel or Sakiri, the Kingdom's Guard is the best for his sustain. For his stats, look for these, and these are his ideal endgame stats. Here is his Awakening priority. For his teams, you can slot him into a Scotch team with Daffodil and other incantation characters, or with any Anima characters to trigger Hex reaction. Moving on to Mint, who is an Anima DPS. For her arcs, Max Refinement Mind Royale is her best option if you can take benefit of the ultimate energy from it and get another ult cast. Followed by Fluff of Fleetness, Shiny Days and Clear Skies. For her cartridge set, Fireflies and Forest is the best option, with Shadow Creed being an alternative. For her stats, look for these, and these are her ideal endgame stats. Here is her Awakening priority. Her team synergies are pretty much similar to Nanally. She can be paired with Cosmos characters to trigger Blossom, or Incantation characters to trigger Hex reaction. You can also add Lakshana characters in Blossom teams for charge reaction, which gives a lot of ultimate energy. Moving on to the only complete furry of this game, Skia, who is a Lakshana main DPS. For his arcs, the best option is Watch Your Heads. For his cartridge set, Street Boxer is the best, with Shadow Creed being a decent alternative. For his stats, look for these, and these are his ideal endgame stats. Here is his Awakening priority. For his teams, he can trigger and buff Remora reactions when paired with Cosmos Espers, and he can be used in Stain reactions with Psych characters. You can also slot in Anima characters for Blossom and Charge reactions. Baicang has a special interaction with him from his passive too, where Baicang applies Power Word Silence on switching into him while Skia is in stealth mode. And finally, our last character, Edgar, who provides healing to the team. For his arcs, the best option is Call of the Twisted City for more healing. Mind Royale is another great option for ultimate energy, and is his best when using Speedy Hedgehog set. For his cartridges, the Knight's Tavern is best for maximizing his heals, and if there is no Speedy Hedgehog holder in the team, it is better to use it. And in charge teams, he can instantly fill his ultimate, so it becomes his best set in such teams. For his stats, look for these, and these are his ideal endgame stats. Here is his Awakening priority. For his teams, he is best utilized in charge teams with Anima and Lakshana characters due to his passive, You can also use him in Blossom teams or Remora teams as a healer. And that was all for this video. I hope you guys found it helpful. Don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe for more NTE content. Join my Discord server to hang out with other players, discuss various strategies, or solve your queries. And thanks for watching.